Have you ever faced something that looked impossible to overcome? A problem so much bigger than you, that fear alone nearly crushed you? This is the story of a shepherd boy named David, the boy who stood before a giant named Goliath, and won. But this isn't just about strength or weapons. It's about faith. It's about courage. It's about what happens when you trust God more than you trust fear. This is the story of David and Goliath as told in the Bible, a story that still speaks to every one of us today. The Israelites were at war with the Philistines. On one hill stood the army of Israel, on the other, the Philistines, and between them, a valley. Every day for 40 days, a giant from the Philistine camp came out to challenge them. His name was Goliath, over 9 feet tall, armor weighing more than an ordinary man could lift, a bronze spear like a weaver's beam. And every day he shouted, "Choose a man and have him fight me. If he kills me, we will be your servants. But if I prevail, you will serve us." The Israelites trembled. Even their king, Saul, who was taller than most, was afraid. For 40 days, no one dared step forward. Then one day, a boy named David arrived at the camp. He wasn't a soldier. He was a shepherd sent by his father Jesse to bring food to his brothers who were in the army. David heard the giant's mocking words. He saw the fear in the soldier's eyes, and he asked, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" 1 Samuel 17:26. His brothers mocked him. "You're arrogant. You just came to watch the battle." But David was serious. He said with boldness, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." 1 Samuel 17:37. When King Saul heard of David's courage, he sent for him. "You're only a boy," Saul said, "and Goliath has been a warrior since his youth." But David told him about his days as a shepherd. When lions and bears attacked his flock, he chased them down. He struck them. He protected his sheep. And then David declared, "The Lord who delivered me from them will deliver me from this Philistine." Saul was moved. He said, "Go, and the Lord be with you." Saul tried to give David his armor, a bronze helmet, a sword, a heavy coat of mail. But David shook his head. "I cannot go in these. I am not used to them." Instead, David went to the brook and chose 5 smooth stones. He carried only his shepherd's staff, his sling, and his faith in God. Meanwhile, Goliath came closer, sneering. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" He laughed. He cursed David by his gods. "Come here, boy, and I'll feed your flesh to the birds of the air." But David stood firm and replied, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, and today the Lord will deliver you into my hands." 1 Samuel 17:45-46. Goliath charged forward, but David ran quickly to meet him. He reached into his bag, pulled out a stone, and slung it with all his might. The stone flew straight, striking the giant in the forehead. The mighty Goliath stumbled. Then he fell, face down. The Philistines froze in shock. The boy had defeated the warrior. David ran, took Goliath's own sword, and ended it. When the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they turned and fled. The Israelites surged forward in victory. David would go on to become Israel's greatest king. But his victory over Goliath wasn't about weapons. It wasn't about size. It was about faith. And that same lesson speaks to us today, because Goliath comes in many forms. Fear that paralyzes us, doubt that whispers, "You're too small," challenges that tower over us. But the story of David reminds us, victory doesn't come from strength alone. It comes from trusting the Lord. As David declared in that valley long ago, "The battle is the Lord's." 1 Samuel 17:47. So whatever giant you're facing, fear, failure, or doubt, remember this: David was just a boy, but his faith was bigger than the giant, and that made all the difference. If this story has inspired you, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more biblical stories brought to life, stories of faith, courage, and victory. Share this message with someone who needs to be reminded that their battles belong to the Lord. And in the comments, tell us, What giant are you trusting God to overcome today? Because just like David, your faith can be bigger than your giant. May the Lord give you victory over all the giants you face, and may your faith be stronger than your fear every day. God bless you.